All cars are fitted with petrol gauges, as this allows the driver to see when the car needs to be filled up, as the gauge indicates how much fuel is left in the tank. If you are a driver, do you ever look at the petrol gauge and ever think of your petrol tank and in your mind imagine how much fuel is actually left in the tank whenever you're running out of fuel? Or do you do what the rest of us do, which is just to think about that fuel gauge not being in the position it's in, where it shows you close to empty, but the gauge being in a different position where it indicates that you won't run out of fuel on your journey? When you think of a situation that causes you some kind of emotional pain or that makes you feel stressed, then this bad feeling is just like the car's petrol gauge, in that the pain indicates another process that's happening in the deeper part of you. But from either not knowing how to deal with emotional pain or not understanding that the emotional pain you feel actually represents other feelings that are within a deeper part of you, makes living and coping with those horrible and painful surface level feelings a constant and never ending battle. But since surface level pain is an indicator of other pain that dwells deeper within, if we are just learning how to cope with this indicating pain and not with the pain that dwells deeper within, then this is like the driver of the car, sitting and staring at the fuel gauge for hours on end and wondering when's it going to change position. To change how the petrol gauge looks, we must fill it with fuel, but it's essential that we fill it with the correct fuel, as putting diesel in a petrol car or vice versa spells disaster for the engine. Putting diesel in a petrol car could be described as a non-congruent act. Congruency means that multiple things are done in a similar way or done in a way that complement reaching an end goal. So, if you want to save money, planning a weekly food budget is congruent with this plan, whereas eating out in a restaurant each night is not congruent with the plan. And if losing weight is your goal, then following a trusted diet is congruent, whereas having a few beers each night definitely isn't congruent with losing weight. But when it comes to dealing with emotional pain, being congruent is an important aspect of how we deal with that pain. For example, feeling angry and going for a walk to calm your emotions does work, but it works in the way of suppressing your emotions and walking until they sink into a deeper part of you where they will eventually be replaced with some form of emotional pain. Whereas feeling angry and roaring out that anger like an animal would literally burns through the energy of that feeling. So when you've finished your roaring session, no anger will be sinking into the deeper parts of you as long as it's all burned up within the session matters. Dealing with feelings in congruent ways means that you are finding the most efficient ways and taking the shortest route through your internal path of pain. The truth is, even though you may feel this from time to time, you are far from being a broken person. And because you're not broken, this means that there's nothing to fix. It's not that you're broken at all, even if you feel like you are sometimes. But in the past couple of videos, we saw that our emotions don't always seem to know what they are doing, because they seem to tell us things in certain ways and we need to learn what those ways are. No, you are not broken. It's just that you don't yet know the way that your feelings fully work, as in how to read them correctly more or less on the first try, and how to work with them in congruent ways to change those bad feelings into good feelings like roaring out animalistic range of emotions does. You are not broken, and if anyone tries to tell you that you are broken, then they are just trying to take advantage of your fragile emotional state by either getting you to believe in them or trying to get you to buy something that they are selling. This self-help system isn't about trusting me or trusting the methods. It is at times about letting go of some old beliefs that you may have held for some time and trying something new. But the fact remains that if this self-help system doesn't work for you, then you should know pretty early on if this isn't your thing. But just like there are different diets that offer the same promise to lose weight, there are many, many ways to feel better and to feel good by using congruent ways and congruent methods. And if this system hasn't worked for you, I highly encourage you not to give up hope and to carry on in your search to find a way to develop your emotional intelligence and to work towards living with more emotional freedom. But if this system is working for you, then let's keep on going and finding out more about how our feelings work. Which to me is the exact opposite of staring at the fuel gauge when it's on empty and wondering when is it going to move to indicate that it's full. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.